Now, if you ever find your fish are not growing enough, it is possible it's just a runt of a fish, but you want to make sure it's getting the right food and enough food. And on top of that, you need to make sure you're doing enough water changes. Because what happens with fish is they emit pheromones and phenols, and that stunts their growth, and therefore they don't really grow. For example, this Oscar, he sort of hasn't grown too much since I saw him last. So, not that has to be a problem, by the way. There's some absolutely beautiful fish in this tank, and everyone's quite good. They're not too skinny, they're not too fat. Everyone is doing what they need to do. But if you do want more growth out of your fish, not saying you have to, by the way, then water changes are key. And the other thing is putting polyfilter in your filter, because polyfilter helps to remove accumulants such as pheromones and phenols. If you've got one of these awesome things, what you don't want to do is go ramming them into your silicon, because you can damage your silicon. So just be careful when you're using this. Just be careful when you need the silicon. And other than that, these things are great. Now, if it's been at least a month since you've cleaned your gravel and your gravel is clean, then you can consider feeding your fish more, especially if they're a little bit on the skinny side. But in saying that, some foods are much cleaner than others anyway. But maybe these fish could do with a little bit more food, and probably I'd be wanting the larger size pellets. So a bit more of this. I'd like to see those bellies fill up a little bit more. Tank has a KH of just over 2, so we definitely want to raise that. So some KH buffer is going to be in order today. The GH is 10, so that's okay. pH is 8.3. I'd rather that higher. 7.3. Oh yeah, 7.3, good point. Dyslexic human. Phosphate's 5, no big drama. 0.2 ammonia will clean the filter, but the most of all thing is nitrate's getting very high. So some increased water changes and increased buffering is going to help this tank a lot. But all in all, the fish actually do look pretty good, and I'd say that's very good quality food is the secret there. It's pretty interesting. So this water is very clear. Really, the fish actually look really good. I think I'd like them fed a tiny bit more, but not much. In reality, this is a nice happy tank full of fish. We're just doing a water change. Now, the thing that I found very interesting is that when I opened this filter up, the water in the filter was completely black, but the media was actually quite clean. What do you reckon, dog? Very spooky. So this light obviously hasn't been on a lot, which doesn't worry the fish in any way, shape or form, but it certainly does help to keep the tank nice and clean. If you don't have live plants or something like that to rely on light, reduced light absolutely reduces maintenance. In an attempt to minimize pheromones and phenols and help clear up the water, we've replaced the activated carbon and the polyfilter. It's really good to have fish that scavenge in the gravel, such as these tinfoil barbs. Now see the way that they're digging in the gravel, and so is the venustus, and so is the dolphin, and so do the peacocks. So there's lots of fish in this tank that like to dig in the gravel, and the fact that they like to dig in the gravel would be another reason why this gravel was so clean. So getting some algae eating fish for cleaning the glass is a good thing, and this glass was pretty clean. And having some fish that scavenge in the gravel is a good thing because it helps keep the gravel clean. Having things that make your life easier. This dolphin will do it. Zebras will do it. Venustus will do it. Peacocks will do it. And very much tinfoils will do it. Algae magnets. It's really important you don't get anything caught in the algae magnet, like whatever that is. It looks like a plant anchor or something like that. You need to clean that before you smear it around on your glass and potentially scratch it. Tank is getting a lot of slime in it. Then you can put sludge removing bacteria in there, and that helps to really get all of the slime and waste that builds up in your gravel and your filter and all the rest of it. So there are bacteria that really help to focus on the physical part. So trying sludge destroyers can really be worth it in aquariums and ponds, particularly if they're not staying clean. So this tank has had a glass clean, it's had a water test, it's had a gravel clean, it's had a water change, and it's had a filter clean, and we've replaced the carbon and poly filter.
Now it's going to have the premium glass polish.
The JBL premium glass polish.
Vitally important for the healthier fish.
That you can see them and enjoy them. But we really need more regular water changes in here because the nitrate is accumulating and the fish are growing pretty slow. Not saying that's a big problem, but really the fish actually look pretty good. And it's been a pretty good low maintenance tank. We've also got to watch the airline at the top of this doesn't kink, because I unkink the airline and the bubbles come out really good. But if the airline kinks at the top, then the bubbles don't like to bubble so much. And we like lots of bubbles. So this has been a pretty low maintenance tank, considering I'm not here a whole heap. And the fish are loving life. It does look pretty cool. But in a perfect world, we really want this service to minimum once a month.